you think probably is going to happen next? She looks like she's going to lose this vote. There could be a vote of no confidence from the Labor Party that won't go through. So really, what's plan B for Theresa May?
So I think in terms of determining what plan B will look like, it'll be very interesting to see today the other votes that take place, because of course alongside this big meaningful vote, MPs will also get to vote on a series of amendments, and these will outline a number of paths ahead. There will be a vote on customs union, there could be a vote on Norway, there could be a vote on a number of different options. And if we see MPs coalesce behind something, then perhaps we start to see what plan B could look like. But right now, the difficulty is not just for the government, but for this parliament, there isn't a clear idea of where that majority lies.
Theresa May's really kept her cards close to her chest as to what she's going to do next. One of the options, of course, is that she digs her heels in, like she's known for doing, and tries to bring this deal back to Parliament in the next couple of days, perhaps next week, a little bit after. Is there, do you think, an appetite within Europe to help her get this deal over the table? So far, they've given very little in terms of concessions. Do you think they've got something up their sleeve that they may be able to help with?
It's not unthinkable. I think you say that they haven't given much in terms of concessions, but tactically that makes sense. It looks very likely this will be voted down today. For a long time, I think MPs have priced that in. So the idea of the EU offering concessions ahead of this vote was always unlikely. It wouldn't have come to much. I think the question of whether or not the EU will offer concessions depends on A, what that looks like. If it is simply moving towards a slightly softer Brexit, i.e. a permanent customs union in the future, I could see the EU coming on board with that. But equally, it is whether or not those concessions will actually deliver the deal. If they are not confident that giving more will actually get this deal through Parliament, they may be more hesitant about doing so.
There were rumours earlier today that Angela Merkel perhaps may be willing to push for the Brexit backstop, which has been the sticking point of this deal, perhaps to put an end date on that backstop, which the European Union has been hesitant to do so far. We're being told from Germany this is absolutely not true. She won't do that, or she hasn't said at this point that she would do that. Merkel would help. But do you think that is perhaps the one concession that would get this deal over the line?
So I would say on the EU side, there's no indication that that is what they're willing to do. And certainly Ireland is unwilling for that. And Ireland has been held up here by the EU. If Ireland can agree to any adjustment to the backstop, then I'm sure the the rest of the EU27 would fall in line behind Ireland. I think one thing I would say is the government is clearly angling towards this. If the government can say an amendment that has been put down that says there is an expiry date to this backstop actually receives a good amount of support amongst MPs, it could turn to the EU and say, well, this is what I need. This is the settled position of my parliament. If we can deliver this, I can get this deal through. I think that's the government's tactics. Whether or not it will work is unclear yet.
Yeah, we need the Brexit